Hello again. I hope you've been enjoying reading the story An Emergency. Now, the story An Emergency, the emergency hasn't quite happened just yet if you've been reading along. And I hope that I have already discovered from page 37 that Doc Erickson is not a doctor like a medical doctor like for you and I, but he's actually a veterinarian. And he has this llama farm. As you're reading, what becomes obvious is that there's a male llama that kind of runs the place. He kind of is the leader of the pack, so to speak, and his name is Jock. And the leader of his herd, he's the one that leads them into trouble and leads them into good things, depending. And that's kind of like it is with us. We can either be a leader for leading to do good things or a leader to do bad things. And some of you are experienced in that both ways. So that's how Jock is going to become critical for this story. Now, as the story moves along, Penny and Jack are supposed to learn how to halter and take care of these llamas. But I'm not sure that that's quite going on. They were told to read, there was a training manual. What they were supposed to learn was to learn how to do it. And it doesn't sound like they necessarily did what they were told, and they didn't necessarily read this manual. And then as you go along with the story, if you'll catch up with me on page 39, I want to read the second to the last paragraph together so that we can pick up where it's going on. It starts with the quotation mark, "You two eat up." Do you see that? On the second column, the last paragraph or two. "You eat up," Doc Erickson told us as he stood up. "I want to get the cryas out to the nursery before we leave for Peabody." Remember, Peabody is that city that they live in. "The yearling males are too rough with them." So you've got baby llamas, you've got these yearling kind of males that are kind of like a teenage boy, and they can be kind of rough, and he says, "I want to separate them so that they don't hurt each other while we're gone." Now, as he does something, it says he rings the gong. Now, if you remember from the very beginning, he told them, when I ring the gong, that means there's an emergency. There's something that needs our attention. Kind of like when you hear a fire truck going by with its bells ringing, or maybe a police officer with his car, the lights flashing and all that. That's something to tell everybody there's an emergency. There's something that needs our attention. So it goes on. He nodded. He went out. A minute later, the dinner gong, that, page 40, hung on the porch, started banging furiously. Jack and I looked at each other, and we both said, "Trouble!" At the same time, before we rushed out, Doc Erickson followed. So what he figures out is, he goes out there and he says, "You know what? It's a little too quiet out here." That's kind of like it is around here with all of you gone. It's a little too quiet, which makes you wonder, what are they doing out there? He starts wondering, if I can't hear them, making some noise, doing some shuffling around, something's up, and I want to figure out what it is. So at this particular point, it is bad that it's so quiet. It's not supposed to be that quiet. And so when he starts looking around, the llamas are all gone. They're no longer in the field that they were supposed to be in. They're thinking, oh my goodness, the whole herd is gone. Well, what you're going to discover in the next part of this story is you have to figure out where they have been. Have they been taken? Have they been, have they wandered off? Are they hiding? Have they all jumped the fence? I don't think that's possible, but you never know. They don't know what's happened to these animals. We have to find them. Now, the first thing they should have done or could have done, that probably would have helped, you might be able to figure that out, is they probably should have prayed. Whenever we have a situation where there's an emergency, we need to stop, ask God to say, "God, please help me figure this out. Help me take care of this situation in the safest, quickest possible way." So they probably should have done that. And that's what we should do when we have a situation. So coming up, looking up, it's going to be, well, are they going to be able to locate the llamas? This is where, remember from yesterday, this is where we've had the beginning of the story. We're now in the middle, and now there's a problem. The problem is the llamas have all disappeared. And so we're going to move along with the story, and hopefully they're going to have a solution, a positive solution, of course they will. Positive solution before the end of the story. So you continue on reading that story and trying to figure out how are they going to find these llamas and the silly thing that they find that they're doing. So that's going to take you up through from 41 up through, let's see, page 45. So you will enjoy the rest of the story. It is kind of humorous and fun. So I hope that you have a humorous and fun day as well. I love you all, and I miss you so much. Bye-bye.